Hey guys, welcome to my very first What's for Dinner video. So this is going to be a full week of what we actually ate for dinner, and it's just basically me documenting the foods and the meals that I prepared and showing you step by step how I made each meal. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Today is Tuesday and it's going to be a super simple meal because I don't really feel like cooking. So we're going to be having nuggets and fries. So these are the nuggets from Aldi, and these are the crispy circles, so basically a smaller version of tots. And I'm just going to pop them in the air fryer. So I have a double air fryer, so it has two of these trays, so I can do nuggets and fries at the same time. Literally just going to pop these on the tray. And throw them into the air fryer on 400 for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm gonna try to break up the ones that are stuck together. And this is literally like a $5 meal and it'll feed my whole family. So if you're looking for a cheap and easy meal, obviously it's not the healthiest thing you could cook, but on the days when you really don't feel like cooking and you want something convenient, this meal definitely comes in handy. So just gonna continue to spread all these out. Okay, so I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. So you can put 2 trays of food in. What I will say though is that the bottom tray definitely cooks a little bit slower. It takes longer to do the same thing as the top shelf, I guess because the top is closer to the heat. So another thing to keep in mind. And mine is super convenient. All I have to do is press the power button, and then it has an actual French fry button right there, so I can just press that. It sets it to 400 in 16 minutes. So chicken nuggets are done. I'm just gonna go ahead and make the kids' plates, the little ones. Some of you may know my older son is a vegetarian or pescatarian, so he doesn't eat this. So he'll find something other than this to eat in here. I'm not gonna make a separate meal today. I just don't feel like it. So I'm gonna give the older kids like 5 or 6 nuggets, and then Corey is gonna get like 2 because she doesn't eat that much. So I just went ahead and switched the tots to the upper shelf, and now I'm going to just give them their condiments. Corey is plain Jane. She doesn't want anything on her food. Cody likes ketchup, and Kane likes honey mustard. Tonight for dinner, I'm making loaded baked potato soup. So I'm just gonna get my potatoes ready by peeling and chopping them. I have a family of 6, so I'm gonna do quite a few potatoes, maybe 6 or 8 of them, depending on the size. So here are my potatoes. I have them peeled and rinsed. This is probably about 3 pounds of potatoes. So now I'm just gonna dice them into about 1-inch cubes, and then we will move on from there. Now I'm gonna get these boiling. So I have some leftover chicken broth, so I'm just gonna use this. And then I'm also going to use some water. And you only need enough to cover the potatoes. So now I'm just going to pop a lid on this and let it boil for about 7 to 10 minutes, or until the potatoes are fork tender. So now I'm going to start building my roux. So I'm just going to put in some oil, some flour. Whoa. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take some of this out. It's too much. want to get the ratio of oil to flour right, because you don't want it to be too thick. So I'm going to let this cook for just a couple minutes to cook out that raw flour taste. And I don't know what I was thinking about. I should have put the chicken stock in here at this stage, but I used it to boil the potatoes. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's okay. We can add a flavor in other ways. So I'm just gonna start going in with some water, and I'm gonna put it in pretty slowly. And that just prevents you from having a lot of lumps in your sauce. Best thing to use for this is a whisk. Now from here you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can add in some sour cream, you can add cream cheese, you can add just normal cheese, you can season it however you like, but I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do today. I'm trying something new, so I am going to add some sour cream and cream cheese. One, because I don't have that much cheddar cheese, and two, because I think it will help it to be like super creamy. So I have about 1/4 of a container of cream cheese, not cream cheese, sour cream. So I'm going to add this in. And I'm also going to add about 1/2 block of cream cheese. And I'm just going to continue to whisk it just to make sure that there aren't any lumps and that everything melts evenly. And you want to do all this before you add the potatoes in, just because you'll break up all of the potato lumps if you whisk with the potatoes in there. You'll end up with mashed potatoes. I also have some half and half, and I just need to use this up, so I'm going to toss it in as well. And this will also make it a little bit more creamy than just regular milk. So now you can see it's nice and creamy. We still have some of the little clumps of cream cheese that need to melt, but that will happen as it heats up, as it continues to cook. So now I'm going to season it. I'm going to go in with some garlic powder, some onion powder. Remember, you want to go kind of heavy on the seasonings because potatoes are flavorless, so you need to make sure you're seasoning them well. Also going to add some black pepper. My favorite complete seasoning. Some salt. And then I'm also going to do 1 chicken bouillon cube. So this is the one that I have. The Magi cubes. So I'm just going to put 1 of these in there. So now I'm going to taste it for seasoning just to make sure it has enough flavor. It could stand to have a little bit more salt. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more. So I don't have regular cheddar cheese, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this Mexican style cheese. This is real life. Sometimes you don't have what you would normally use in a recipe, and you just have to use what you have and make do. So I think this will give us that cheddar flavor. And here are my potatoes going in. And at this point we're pretty much done. It's just about letting the potatoes kind of soak up some of that flavor. Because King is vegetarian, I'm not going to put the bacon bits directly in here, but I will put them into the bowls as we eat for those who do want some. And when it comes to recipes like this, I don't bother with actually cooking bacon. I just use these real bacon bits, and these taste just like the real thing. Well, they are the real thing. So yeah, I just pop these. You can pop them into the microwave if you want them to be crispy. Otherwise, you can just put them directly on top. So it's looking good. It's thick and creamy, which is how I like mine. I don't like mine to be too soupy. I like it to be thick and hearty. So let me give you guys a close-up of this. I'm gonna give it one final taste for seasoning, and then we're ready to plate it up. Definitely needs more salt. That was a lot of potatoes, so you really have to make sure that you're putting enough salt to kind of flavor them. And potatoes take a lot of salt anyway. So if it seems like I'm putting like a lot of salt in here, that's why, because you have to flavor those potatoes. Otherwise, what's the point? And dinner is served. Tonight I'm going to be making fried chicken, so I'm going to go ahead and get this chicken washed and also get the oil into the pot. So I have a really big stock pot here ready to go, and I'm going to add a bunch of oil into it because I do plan to fry all of that chicken. So I'm probably going to need at least 1.5 to 2 of these quarts of oil. Is this a quart? 1 quart and 1 pint, 48-ounce container of oil. So that was about 1.5 of these, and I'm just going to let that heat up while I clean the chicken. Not really sure what it is about this method, but the chicken just gets so much cleaner. So you can see all the stuff that's like floating on top that would normally be going into your mouth if you didn't do this. I can't talk to you while I'm filming.
I didn't want to talk.
Oh. So now I'm gonna go ahead and season it. Here's some paprika. What?
Don't come for me.
I'm not coming for you. I can't. Y'all know I love complete seasoning, so I'm also gonna add some of this. Some Creole seasoning. Just because it won't hurt anything. Some garlic powder. Some onion powder. And some black pepper. And then I've been seeing a lot of people fry chicken with mustard because they said that it makes it more crispy, so I'm gonna try that. And now I'm just gonna go in with my hand to mix it up. Make sure that all those seasonings are all over all the chicken. This bowl is going to be for my dry ingredients, and I'm actually going to mix some flour and some tapioca starch together. there is the flour. You could do cornstarch or whatever kind of starch you have on hand. But this is also supposed to be another one of those things that makes it more crispy. I'm gonna season my flour mixture as well with some salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, and onion powder. Okay, let's go ahead and get our chicken into the flour mixture and just kind of press so you can make sure that it's fully coated and you're not missing any areas. Now that our chicken is ready, I'm going to go ahead and just test the oil. You can see that there are bubbles starting to form around the bottom of this wooden spoon, so we know that we're just about there as far as the temperature goes. And you just want to shake off all the excess flour so it doesn't end up in the bottom of your oil. Okay, so I'm gonna let this cook for about 15 minutes. I'm just gonna pop the top on it so it's not splattering everywhere. And also to kind of pressure cook it a little bit or steam cook it a little bit so maybe it cooks a little bit faster with the top on. I don't know. That's just my theory. So I'm gonna let it cook and then we will be back in about 15 minutes. My plan for King was to make fried cauliflower, but they didn't have any cauliflower at the store. So he's gonna have some leftover spinach dip, some pico de gallo, some tortilla chips, and also the soup from last night. So he's gonna eat the rest of the soup and that's gonna be his dinner. Alright, so here are my sides. I got some chicken flavored rice and some green beans. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make these as well. So I'm gonna cook the rice in the air fryer. Not the air fryer, in the microwave. Oh my goodness. And so you need to add 2 1/4 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of margarine or butter, and then you microwave it for 12 minutes. Easy enough. Chicken is looking pretty good, but I'm a little bit nervous about it not being all the way cooked because these are some huge chicken legs. Just for reference, this is my hand and this is the chicken, so obviously it's really big. So I'm gonna let it cook for it's been probably about 17 minutes. I'm gonna give it another maybe 3 minutes, which would make it about 20 minutes total. So I really take my time to make sure I'm getting as much of the oil off of the chicken as possible, just because I don't want the chicken to be super oily when we're trying to eat it. So as you can see, there's not like a huge pool of oil around this chicken. So just taking the time to really kind of drain it a little bit makes a huge difference in your finished product. So here's our first batch of chicken. Looks delicious, nice and crispy. So now I have the other ones. I have some more already breaded. I'm gonna drop these in and then I'll finish working on the sides and we will be ready to eat. Just pulled the rice out of the microwave. It's been 12 minutes and I think that came out just about perfect. I'm gonna cook the green beans the same way in the microwave because they are the steamed. They're the steam bag kind, so I'm just gonna pop these in the microwave for about 5 or 6 minutes. now that we have those pork chops seasoned, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the rice. This is gonna be a quick meal. I'm gonna do like teriyaki pork chops. I'm gonna go ahead and cook some jasmine rice. For King, I'm gonna go ahead and cook him a piece of salmon. Maybe I should do 2 of these for him, and he can have the rice and the vegetable to go with it. And these don't need to be thawed completely. They can go into the broiler pretty much frozen. Just gonna go ahead and season the salmon. This is some complete seasoning. Y'all already know. This goes on everything. Garlic powder. Tony Chachere's. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of lemon pepper. Just a little bit. And now this can go under the broiler on high for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. My pan is hot and ready to go. I'm just gonna add some olive oil in here to fry the pork chops in. And this pan is almost brand new. I have no idea how they managed to bang it up and create like a dent right there. So annoying. Got my favorite tongs. And I'm cooking these on high because you want them to sear really fast, because these are thin cut. They won't take long, maybe 2 minutes per side. And you do want to clean off your tongs when you go back to flip these, just because this side is done and you don't want the residue from the raw meat on the done side of the meat. Tonight for dinner I'm making pizza, so the first step is going to be to make the dough. I have a quart of water here. This bowl actually has the measurements in it, so I can see that it's a quart. And you want to make sure this is hot water. To that I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 packages of the fast rising instant yeast. Now you just want to give this a stir and then give it a couple minutes for the yeast to kind of proof a little bit. I think that's what it's called, proofing. Give it a minute to kind of form some bubbles on top. Okay, so you can see that we have some bubbles on here now. So now we can start forming the dough. I'm gonna add some salt. Maybe about a tablespoon. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. And flour. And the flour, you just have to kind of eyeball it and figure out how much you need to form a dough. You want the dough to be soft, but not too sticky. So I'm not measuring it. Obviously that's way too wet. Okay, somehow I ran out of regular flour, so I'm gonna go in with some white whole wheat, just because this is all I have left. And again, this is real life, so definitely thought I had another bag of flour in there. I don't know how. I don't, but whatever. So same process. Now we have to turn it out and knead it. Still super wet. I'm not even sure if I have enough flour in this. I might have to run to the 7-Eleven or to the store, because I don't know if I even have enough flour to finish this, but hopefully I can make it work without having to go anywhere. Really thought I had another bag of flour in there. I usually don't run low on stuff like that. So since it's so wet, I'm just going to like pretty much completely cover it in flour and try to start the kneading process. Pretty much all I do is take it back, press forward, pull it back, press forward. Just kind of incorporating that flour to keep it from being too wet on your hands. Okay, dough ball is formed, so it's gonna go back into this bowl. You do want to oil the bowl. And I'm gonna be honest, this dough is still quite sticky because I'm completely out of flour at this point. I was able to knead it for about 5 minutes, but I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and let it rise. And I'm gonna put some oil on top too, just because this is definitely gonna stick, because it's oil, because it's so sticky. But the oil will help. So I'm gonna douse it in oil, let it proof for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. You cover it, put it in a warm spot, like in the oven, with the oven not on, of course. And when we go to touch it to actually press it into pizza crust, we can use some oil on our hands or something like that, and that'll kind of keep it from being too sticky. And we don't need to actually knead it or anything. We just need to press it into a pizza dough. So I'm gonna put the top on this and let it rise. So I think we all know how to make pizza, but because I didn't necessarily plan to make pizza, this is kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I just looked in my fridge to see what toppings we can use. So I have some chicken over here thawing that I am going to cube and like fry up for barbecue chicken pizza. And I'll show you guys that. Also have pepper and onion blend here. I have a little bit of breakfast sausage left over that I can fry up into crumbles. And then I also have some turkey taco meat. So if anybody wants a taco pizza, this is an option. And then the normal cheese pizza. So this is like 2 or 3 chicken breasts that I froze together to make a meal with. And I'm just gonna cut off a nice chunk of this. And that way we can use this portion for the pizzas, and the rest I can just pop back into the freezer. told y'all this was real life, right? So just realized I ran out of spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to use these. Just dump them in here. And I'm going to add some seasonings and try to make my own spaghetti sauce. And because I don't have like an hour to let this simmer, I'm going to add like a tablespoon of sugar. Typically you would let it simmer for an hour or two and that would bring out the natural sweetness of the tomatoes, but we ain't got that kind of time. So I'm going to let this cook for probably 15 minutes and then I'll taste it for seasoning and we'll start making pizzas. Oh, let me show you guys the crust. So it's rising really well. It's almost at the top. Y'all, I can't take the level of disappointment that is happening here tonight with me trying to make this pizza. This is all the sauce that was left. It was literally like on this line. So I'm trying to hold it upside down to see if it's going to be enough to do at least some of this for me. I'm okay if only I get some. So we'll see. Hopefully it's enough for like at least half a pizza. But man, I mean, how am I out of this much stuff? I don't know. But this is the state of affairs right now. Okay, so I have two pizzas done. This one is half barbecue chicken and has some mozzarella and cheddar. The mozzarella is just about gone. Definitely gonna have to run to the store and buy some more, even though I didn't want to do that, but whatever. So yeah, the onion and pepper mix, mozzarella, cheddar, and barbecue sauce with the sauteed chicken, and then or pan fried. And then this one is just mozzarella and cheddar with some sausage, and this one is 3 cheese. I have the oven preheating now at 425, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to the store because I don't trust anybody else to watch the pieces without burning them. Bingo.